Have you ever felt confident in your English, but then completely stuck when doing fill in the blanks and drag and drop in PTE? You look at the sentence, you look at the options, and suddenly everything feels confusing. If this question type is hurting your reading score, this video is going to change that. Good day, everyone. This is Rashed, and welcome back to Ace Language. I am a Pearson certified professional PTE trainer and the founder of Ace Language. I have been teaching PTE since 2015, and over the years, I have helped thousands of students achieve their required PTE score for study, work, and permanent residency purposes. Here at Ace Language, we don't teach shortcuts or tricks that stop working later. We teach clear logic, real grammar, and exam-ready strategies that actually help you score high in PTE academic. Today's video is all about one of the most challenging tasks of PTE exam in the reading module, that is, fill in the blanks and drag and drop. Let's first understand the task clearly. This is the fourth question type in the reading module, and you will get 4 to 5 questions. Each question will have 3 to 5 blanks. Options are given at the bottom, and there will be more options than the number of blanks. Your job is simple in theory. Drag the correct word and drop it into the correct blank. But here is the key point. This question type alone contributes about 20% of your reading score and around 6% of your overall PTE score. So yes, this task matters a lot. Therefore, time management is critical here. You should spend about 1 minute 30 seconds per question. If you rush, you make grammatical mistakes. If you overthink, you lose time for later questions. So you need a structured method. To score well in fill in the blanks drag and drop, you must master 3 skills: grammar, vocabulary, and collocation and context. Let's start with grammar, because grammar gives you the fastest way to reduce number of options to answer. Let's learn some of the grammar rules that actually works. These rules will not give you the right answer straight away, but these rules can eliminate 50 to 60% of the wrong options. Rule number 1. Always look for a verb first. If there is no verb in the sentence, the blank must be that verb. Rule 2. If the blank is after to, the answer is usually the base form of the verb, unless that to is used as preposition. Rule 3. If the verb comes after a preposition like in, on, at, by, you need an ing form in the blank. Rule 4. If the blank comes after am, is, are, was, were, and the sentence is in active voice, then the answer in the blank will be verb plus ing. But if that same set of words is before the blank and the sentence is in passive voice, you need the past participle of the verb or the third form of the verb. Rule 5. If the blank is after has, have, or had, answer must be in the past participle or the third form of the verb. Rule 6. If the structure is has, have, had plus been, then in case of active voice, the blank needs to be verb plus ing. And in case of the passive voice, the blank will need past participle or third form of the verb. And if the blank comes before by, it will always be past participle or third form of the verb. Rule 7. If the blank comes after a modal verb like can, could, may, might, should, would, the verb will be in the base form. If there is a be after the modal verb, the blank needs to be in past participle or third form. Rule 8. If the blank is after A and D, that means an article, you need a noun. But if a noun already exists after the blank, then you need an adjective. Rule 9. If the blank is between auxiliary verb and a main verb, or between an auxiliary verb and an adjective, or just simply before an adjective, or simply after an adverb, then the answer usually is an adverb. Rule number 10. If the blank comes after an adjective, you will need a noun. Now, you can download the full grammar rule list from the link in the description. So I strongly recommend that you pause this video and go to the description of the video and download the comprehensive grammar rule PDF. You will find it handy when you follow me in the practice questions. Now, let's talk a bit about collocation. Collocation means that words those naturally go together in English. For example, pay attention, commit a crime, heavy rain, strong coffee. Some common types of collocations include verb plus noun, like take a shower, make a mistake. Adjective plus noun, like heavy rain, strong coffee. Another one is adverb plus adjective, like fully aware, utterly ridiculous. Something like verb and adverb are also pretty common, like listen carefully, work closely. It can be noun plus noun as well, like a piece of advice, a sense of humor, or it can be verb plus preposition, such as agree with someone, participate in an event or activity. Important advice here is please don't try to memorize collocations. Rather, learn them naturally through reading. Next important part that I would like to talk about is contextual understanding. Contextual understanding does not improve overnight. It's a process and sometimes a long, tedious one. To improve context, you need to read a lot. Read newspapers, read articles, and analyze a sentence. A powerful method is read one sentence, write what you understood, then ask ChatGPT if your understanding is correct. This will train your brain to understand the meaning faster and more accurately. So, you are wondering what to do on the exam day? On exam day, follow the exact order. First, skim the whole text quickly. That will help you understand the general topic. Predict each type of word for each blank using the grammar rules. Use your grammar knowledge and collocation to eliminate wrong options, and that will leave you the options with the best choices. Never ever randomly drag a word to where you think it should go. Now, let's try everything in real exam situation. I will now switch to my screen sharing and try and solve few questions so that you can see how I approach those questions in the exam day. Before I move into this question, what I would like to tell you is that quite often students ask me, hey, how can I improve my vocabulary? Or is vocabulary even needed? Look, this is not a vocab test. However, having good vocabulary can be really helpful, right? So, what I recommend you to do, rather than going around and randomly making a list of words and trying to memorize, why don't you go and do your fill in the blanks and make your vocabulary list from there? For example, if I'm just moving to the next slide, where you can see, if I go to the next slide, you can see that I made a list of vocabs. And what I did here is you can clearly see that I have included words here, the words that are in the option. Then I have figured out their parts of speech, which will be needed in order to answer your fill in the blanks, and I have tried to list their meaning here. In this scenario, it's better that you use a dictionary or simply Google them. The reason is very simple. You are not supposed to know all the words in the world, right? So keep that in mind that if you want to prepare yourself this way, that's the best way to prepare and improve your vocabulary. Now, if I look at the options, so what I do is whenever I get a question, I quickly skim the text to understand what is this about. So if I quickly skim this particular question type, I can clearly see it starts with regular exercises beneficial, okay. Memory and learning exercise appears to trigger the dash of certain chemicals, direct on the health brain cells, stress, anxiety. So I can think that this particular question is about regular physical exercise and how it can help different functionalities of the brain. Next thing that I do is I quickly look at the options and find out what parts of speech they are and what are their meanings, like you saw in the next page, right? Let's take a look at those options. So first one is involved, which can be an adjective, can also be a verb. Look, I'm just taking extra time to explain this to you, but in the exam, you cannot take more than 1.5 minutes to max 1 minute 45 seconds for each question. So it's better if you practice or keep on practicing this way at home so that in the exam, you can do it faster, right? Now, obviously, involved means having or including something as a necessary part. Next one is impact, which can again be used as noun or verb. It can be a strong or direct effect on something. And then next one is release, again, noun or verb, the act of letting something out. Next one is explained, a verb, and also in past or past participle form, means made something clear. And next is reducing, a verb, making something less. Even though it's a verb, it's ing form, that means a gerund, right? Next is causing, again, can be a verb, gerund, making something happen. And consideration is a noun, which means careful thought or attention, right? Now I know the meaning, I know the parts of speech. Now, if I can identify which blank requires what parts of speech, I can automatically eliminate the other options, right? Let's take a look at the first blank. It says regular exercise is beneficial for those areas of the brain which are dash in memory and learning. Now you can see that before the blank, the word group which are is there, right? That means I need a verb in the blank because I have which are and I need a verb in the blank. Also, this verb needs to be either in past participle or ing form. Remember our rule number 4. Why? Which one should I use? Again, this is not in active voice, this is in passive voice. So I need a ed form, or not really ed form, third form or past participle form of the verb, right? That means my options that I can use here are involved and explained. Now, why explained cannot be my answer? Because this does not fit the logic of the passage. Chemicals are not explained, all right, by exercise. They are either produced or moved, right? That's why my answer will be involved. Involved is a past participle, of course, and areas which are involved in, because it has areas involved, and it has in after that. So involved and in paired together. So grammatically, it can be either explained or involved, which makes my search narrower, and colloquially, involved pairs with in. Areas pairs with involved. So my answer is involved in this particular blank. Next one is exercise appears to trigger the dash of certain chemicals which have a direct dash on the health of brain cells. Take a look at blank 2. After the or the, however you would like to pronounce, remember if after the there is a vowel sound, you will need to pronounce it as the. if there is a consonant sound, you need to pronounce it as the, right? Keep that aside. We already know from our rule number 8 that after an article, we generally need a noun. And in this case, after the, we need a noun. So what are the options that we have available? Release, impact, and consideration. Right now, first think about impact. Impact needs to be on, impact needs on afterward. That means if you want to use impact, you need to have on, impact on. This is not the case here. So I cannot really use impact for option number 2. The next is consideration. Of course, this is a noun, but it doesn't feed the meaning scientific context here. It cannot be my answer. So naturally my answer is release. In this context, release acts as noun, not as verb, number 1. Number 2 is it refers to the process of chemical being let out of the system. Into the system. Also, triggered the release of is a strong collocation. So the answer here is release. All right. And in the immediate next blank, blank 3, we have direct just before the blank, a direct dash. So that means it can be in the blank, it can be a verb or an adjective or an adverb. But if we can remember rule number 8, if we have an article after the noun, we can have an adjective. We should have an adjective after that, right? So, if we have it's my bad, it's the other way around. That means if we have an article and after that we have an adjective, then we need a noun. My bad. So that means we need a noun in this case, and options are, of course, impact and consideration. Consideration is a noun for sure, but it doesn't fit again the scientific context, and impact fits the context. Also, remember in the previous blank I said after impact we need on. So here we have on right after impact. This is your answer. Right. So here in blank number 3, my answer is on. Sorry, impact. Right. Let's move to blank number 4. It also helps the brain to function by dash stress and anxiety. We have by, that means we need something with ing form, right? So if we need something with ing form, the options that we have here are actually very less. We have only one option, that is reducing. In terms of meaning also, it shows how reducing explains how the exercise helps the brain function by reducing stress and anxiety. So if your brain function definitely improves if your stress and anxiety goes down, right? So your answer is reducing. So the answers are in the first blank involved, in the second blank release, in the third blank impact, and the last one is reducing. Let's move to question number 2. Again, we have 5 blanks, and in this case we have 8 options. I'm quickly going to find out the parts of a speech of the words that are there as options. Provoked is a verb, theory is a noun, backed is a verb, supported is a verb, acceptance is a noun, a rebuff can be used as noun, can be used as verb, raised is a verb, and inference is a noun. If I look at the first sentence, it says, in his key work, first published in 1628, William Hervey put forward the dash that blood circulated around the body. So we have the before the blank, that means we need a noun. Rule number 8, 3 options are available: theory, acceptance, actually 4 options, my bad, my typing mistake here. Theory, acceptance, rebuff, and inference. Inference is generally mean drawn, not put forward. Now, if I look at this particular sentence, it says put forward the, so that means inference cannot be used here. Acceptance means general approval. But in the next sentence, the sentence starts with the word group these hypotheses. Hypothesis does not mean it has already been accepted. That means acceptance cannot be used in blank number 1. Blank Another option here is rebuff. Again, rebuff means rejection. If something is a hypothesis, that means it is not yet accepted, but also not yet rejected. It cannot be my answer as well. That means my answer here is theory. And also, theory means something that is kind of an idea that's not been proven yet, that not is not been rejected yet, which quite easily reflect the word after that, that is this hypothesis. So my answer for blank one is theory. Now, if I look at blank two, this hypothesis was dash up by a number of experiments. Dash up was dash up. So remember our rule number 4, if the blank is preceded by was, where, am, is, or was, where, and it's in passive voice, it requires a past participle. That means I need a past participle in this particular blank, and the options are provoked, backed, supported, and raised. um, Obviously, it has up after that. If as it has up after that, supported and provoked are out, because they cannot sit with up. You cannot say supported up. You cannot say provoked up, right? It doesn't work that way. Raised up can be an option, but it means lift up. But what are you lifting up? What are you saying here? There is nothing like lifting up. We are talking about theory or hypothesis. There's nothing to lift up, right? Or take down, to be honest. So the option is, of course, backed. Also, this is a perfect collocation. Backed up is a very commonly used phrasal verb. So the answer here is backed. Next blank is about also rule number 3, and that is next up is blank number 3. Again, after dependent on, a noun is needed that can contrast with observation. Remember, right after the blank, we have rather, means contrast, and it will contrast with what? With the word after that, that is observation, right? So options that as we need now, our options are acceptance, a rebuff, inference. Acceptance is general approval. This one doesn't fit due to the fact that it's a hypothesis. Remember, you cannot have acceptance because it's a hypothesis. It hasn't been proven yet, right? Rebuff means rejection. Again, it hasn't been rejected yet, right? And that means the word inference will fit. The word inference means conclusion, or reaching, trying to reach to a conclusion, right? As it is backed up by the experiments, it is trying to reach to a conclusion, rather than it's not just an observation. I'm not just observing it. I'm trying to reach a conclusion based on experiments, right? That's why the answer here will be inference, right? Next one is now. Let's move to question number two's option 4 and 5. In option in that sentence, it starts with a radical idea of this type inevitably dash a certain amount of ridicule among conservative physicians, blah, blah, blah. So we have inevitably, that's an adverb, and right after that there is a blank, means I actually need a verb. Take a look at this sentence. The radical idea of this type inevitably dash a certain amount of ridicule among conservative physicians. Up until there is no verb. So I need a verb, right? And options that we have are provoked, supported, and raised. And if I carefully consider them, something cannot be supported when it is ridiculed. So I'm ridiculing you. I'm just saying, hey, it's so, bizarre. It doesn't make sense. That means I'm not really supporting you, right? So I cannot really answer supported here. And also supported is followed by, supported by. Right. Next is raised. Again, while you can use raise, you can say raise a question, but you don't usually raise a ridicule. You cannot say raise ridicule. It doesn't work. It doesn't fit at all. Right. And that means the answer here will be provoked. So This verb means to cause a strong reaction, and ridicule means a strong reaction. Ridiculous means a strong reaction negatively, right? So a radical idea is often said to provoke a reaction. So this is my answer. Now I'm going to the next part of this blank, that is, but by the time of Harvey's death, it had gained general dash in medical circles, my bad. So again, general is an adjective, and after that I need a noun, which is rule number 10. Options we have are acceptance and rebuff. And rebuff cannot be the case. It will mean rejection, and we have not found any rejection yet. And also, if you take a look at the sentence structure, at first you had inevitable ridicule, right? So that means something negative. After that, we have but. So the sentence structure now requires me to say something positive. So rebuff cannot be my answer. My answer will be acceptance because it describes an idea being welcomed or agreed. That's when after but I have a positive sentence. My answer here is acceptance. That means my final answers are theory, backed, inference, provoked, and acceptance. Okay, now let's start with question number 3. Question number 3 is about soil erosion and tree plantation. So I can quickly look at the options. Scrap, which can be a noun or a verb. Prevention is a noun. Maximized is a verb. Shortages is a noun. Fear can be a noun or a verb. And assist is a verb. Now, if I look at the options, the first sentence says, while it is true that planting trees encourages the dash of soil erosion by enriching it with nutrients, here I need a noun after the, right? Remember our rule number 8. And as I need noun, I have options like scrap, prevention, shortages, and fear. If you think about it, shortages cannot be here. I cannot encourage the shortage of soil erosion because I'm planting trees, guys. If I'm planting trees, I cannot really encourage the shortage of soil erosion. And encourage the shortage doesn't really make sense, right? You can create a shortage or you can be within a shortage, but you cannot encourage the shortage. In the same way, you cannot really encourage the fear. Fear can increase or decrease, but you cannot really encourage it, right? And the option is scrap. This means discard or get rid of something. I cannot say encourage the scrap. That will mean some encourage the discarding of something. Makes no sense at all. The option here is prevention. First of all, I need a noun, and I need a noun that describes a positive outcome for soil erosion, right? For soil itself, not really soil erosion, because I'm planting trees. That means I am thinking about not having soil erosion, right? That's why the option will be prevention. So encouraging the prevention of soil erosion means that tree helps stop soil from washing away or eroding, right? So next option is, if I continue that sentence, it is important that these does not lead to water dash occurring, right? I need a noun. I have water before that. And options are scrap, shortages, and fear. Fear means while you might fear a water shortage, but water fear occurring. Have you ever heard of this term? Makes no contextual or grammatical sense at all. Well, grammatically it makes sense, but contextually it makes no sense. Meaning wise, it makes no sense. Scrap, again, water scrap occurring. I mean, what are you trying to discard? Water? No, it's not your answer either. So the answer is shortages. It's a very common collocation. Water shortage means lack of water. What it really is saying that yes, tree plantation is good. It prevents soil erosion, but we need to also think about we should not plant that much tree without any planning so that the water is in short supply. Make sense? So the answer here is shortages. Next is, therefore, the water requirements of planting projects must be dash when planning and the establishment of new forest. That means I need a past participle, which is rule number 7, if you can remember. Options are maximized and assessed for us, right? Maximized will be, you usually want to use maximize when you maximize benefit, but we wouldn't want to maximize the requirement. That means, see, I want to do something good, right? I want to plan a forest. I want to plant trees. That's a great thing. But I should not maximize the requirement. I should maximize the number of trees, but not the requirement, right? So when I'm actually planning that, I do not want to maximize. Rather, I want to assess. I want to see what can happen, how much water is needed, or how much other resources are needed, right? So the answer here is assessed, right? So the final answers are prevention, shortages, and assessed. I hope your answers are pretty clear. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly show you question number 4 and question number 5. And what I want you to do is try question 4 and 5 and comment below so that I can help you with the answers of question 4 and question 5. When you are doing question number 4 and 5, remember you need to make a list of words with proper vocab. That means what is the meaning of that word and what is the parts of speech, like I did at the beginning of this demonstration. In this way, you will be able to build up your vocabulary and understanding of the context. And eventually, if you keep on practicing like that, within a month or so, you will be able to accurately answer most of your fill in the blanks drag and drop within a minute and a half to maximum 1 minute 45 seconds. And that's your end goal. So the bottom line is, if you master grammar, understand collocation, and practice context reading, this question type becomes very predictable. If you found this video helpful and finally understood how to ace PTE fill in the blanks drag and drop, make sure you like this video. It really helps the channel reach more students who are struggling with PTE. Also, share this video with your friends or family members who are preparing for PTE, especially those aiming for superior English points for their permanent residency application. And most importantly, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification icon because I regularly upload updated PTE strategies based on the latest exam changes. If you'd like professional guidance and structured preparation for your PTE exam, ACE Language offers multiple PTE training options to suit your different needs. We provide a 2-week intensive course, 1 month and 2-month comprehensive programs, as well as one-on-one personalized coaching for students who need individual attention. You can contact us from both Bangladesh and Australia. If you are contacting us from Bangladesh, you can reach us directly at 01889982 And if you are contacting from Australia, our contact details in Australia is 0456 446 963. You can also email us at info@acepte.com.au for details of your course, enrollment, and also for personalized guidance. Our team will be happy to guide you on the right course based on your timeline and target score. So, happy practicing and stay tuned for the next video.